Hey guys, I'm MG, and today we are going to be looking at Rambo First Blood, which is a 1982 American action film that was directed by Ted Kotcheff, written by Michael Kozel, William Sackheim, and Sylvester Stallone, who we have seen in Rocky, and also stars as a main character, John Rambo. This film is also based on the novel with the same name that was written by David Morrell. But enough chit chat. Let's talk about this film right now. The biggest question I asked myself was, is this better or worse than Rocky? And to answer that, they are just about the same. Like, this has strengths over Rocky, but also some weaknesses over Rocky. So I'll summarize my thoughts on Rocky really quickly to keep you all fresh. It is good. Great characters, amazing music, an interesting setting, problematic climax, things that don't affect the story, and a lack of screen time for the villain. Now let's talk about this film. Rambo himself is such an endearing and relatable protagonist, where he was innocent, yet the townsfolk treated him like a threat to society because he's an outsider, which makes his story really sad. And I also love his backstory, with where he had so many friends and now he is alone, which makes us understand what type of pain he is going through, which makes him a really compelling character to watch and is just as good as Rocky. The performances are excellent. Sylvester Stallone honestly does a better job in this film, since he puts in a lot of heart, energy, and emotions for his character, which is why I can understand why people get related to his character. Richard Crenna honestly shows his support towards Rambo in a really natural way, and fully understands his character, which makes his performance stand out. Brian Dennehy does a really good job into making the villain threatening and menacing, and puts an exceeding amount of passion in his performance. The action is really entertaining and has quite a lot of tension, which hides it into making itself really amusing, which was somewhat lacking in Rocky, since the climax of that film didn't have any sort of tension whatsoever. The music by Jerry Goldsmith is excellent. It really makes the scenes more impactful, and is a huge improvement over Bill Conti's already amazing score from Rocky. However, there are some problems. As great as Dennehy and Crenna's performance are, their characters are a different story. Sam Trautman is a really forgettable side character, and doesn't really affect the story at all. Plus, he doesn't have any interactions with Rambo until the last 10 minutes. But the sheriff is a pretty bad villain. Like, he has no personality outside of killing Rambo, and pales in comparison to Apollo Creed, who was a really good villain. The best thing I can say about the sheriff is that he is quite scary, and has a lot more screen time than Apollo Creed, but that's about it. The setting isn't really interesting, like it's just a small town where we don't see much of it, and this film spends a lot of time in the woods, which I see why they did it, but the woods isn't the best setting ever, unlike Rocky, which shows its setting more than once, and getting the characters to spend time in it. Another thing I'm not a fan of is that it didn't live up to its fullest potential with Rambo's backstory. Like, remember those flashes of his memories? They never show up again, and it's really frustrating because it would have been such a great way to delve deeper into Rambo's character when he's talking about his friend's death, instead of the other characters acknowledging what happened to him. The way the conflict is started between Rambo and the police feels really out of nowhere, and just turned out as awkward and makes me uncomfortable for some reason. I don't know why. And the last thing I want to mention is that my previous two films, Die Hard and True Lies, actually reference this film, and I did not know about that until I watched both of them. So that's a pretty funny coincidence. Overall, I find Rambo just as good as Rocky, with some pros and cons over it that make them equal in my eyes. But still, I would recommend watching it if you're a Sylvester Stallone fan. 7.2 out of 10. Goodbye everyone, and thank you for watching. Bye.